Hello everyone, I'm just going to go ahead and get started right away because there's a lot of content to cover today. So today, for Talk About It Tuesday, we are going to chat about just some birth control basics. Again, just really trying to connect us to some very simple things that we can do to benefit our health and our futures in 2022. If you give me just a second, I'm going to pin for everyone the information to get tested with Whitman-Walker. It's free HIV and STI testing, which is a really simple way to stay up on your physical health this year. Appointments take less than 30 minutes in most cases. And so we just like to kind of keep this posted for everyone. In addition to that, you can also receive COVID-19 testing with us. You do still have to make an appointment. It's just the best way for us to keep you and the folks that work here as safe as possible, while also still offering some much needed services, right? You can give us a call to do that or send us an email. So I know sometimes making phone calls can be really challenging. Sorry, my computer loves to time out as soon as I need it. And then we'll just jump right in for today. So there we go. I'm going to make sure that this stays pinned. Okay. So we're just going to jump right in. Again, today we're going to be talking about birth control basics. This is especially important for, young folks who are engaging in sexual activity. Sorry, give me a moment. There we go. All right. So, why do we think it's important to talk about this? I think it's a lot of content that we give out a lot, but it is important to keep in the front of our minds because unplanned pregnancies can really lead to a lot of negative impact later on in your life. So just to share some statistics, about half of young folks who experience an unplanned pregnancy or unplanned birth, only 50% of them will receive a high school diploma by the age of 22, and their children are more likely to drop out of high school themselves, have health problems, be incarcerated as a youth, or give birth themselves as a teenager. And while that's not always the case, there are, of course, plenty of instances where the person experiencing an unplanned pregnancy and their child can go on and live very healthy, full, productive, beautiful lives. It is just as likely that it will go the other way. So we want you to be able to have more choice in when you decide to have children. So birth control is an effective method to prevent pregnancy, even without the use of a condom. There are many forms of birth control that you can choose from low or no cost to you. And if you are a person living in DC, then you are able to receive the birth control of your choice without parental consent by the age of 13. So as soon as you turn 13 in Washington, DC, you are able to make all of your sexual and reproductive health decisions on your own. Some things that are important to consider when picking a birth control method is, do you want it to be discreet? Do you need your birth control method to be hidden either from your parents or your sexual partners or anyone else in your life? Does it require you to go to the doctor? Is that something that's prohibitive for you? Are you unable to get to the doctor? If so, then you need a method that you are able to get perhaps delivered to your door or something that you can pick up, from your local pharmacy. Do you have to use insurance or can you get it for free? So this is especially important to consider if you're someone who's still sharing insurance with someone, like a parent who can look up their statement and see that you've went in for, some sort of birth control service. It's important to consider what the potential side effects are, but also what the potential benefits are, because a lot of birth control methods do provide some positive some positive side effects, which are important to consider if you're looking for help with, say acne, for example. And how much effort does it take to use? So every birth control method is different. Some you have to remember to do something every day. Some you never have to think about it once you get started on it. So that's also something to take into consideration, and I'll explain those points as I go through each one. So the first one I'm going to talk about, I'm really going to go in order from, the most difficult to use to the least difficult to use. So the ones that you never have to think about will be at the end. So the pill. The birth control pill is probably the most common and the one that, everyone knows about. However, it is the hardest to use, and that is because to use the pill effectively, you have to take it every day at about the same time every day, which can be really difficult, right? Especially if you have work, school, other commitments, if you already have children, any of our responsibilities can just get in the way. Even if you don't have a lot of extra responsibilities, sometimes it's just hard to remember. It's hard to remember to do anything every day at the same time. But as soon as you start, missing pills or taking it late, that really does open up a window for you to become pregnant. The pill contains two hormones that are naturally present in the body, and those are progestin and estrogen. There are some pills that don't contain estrogen if you are someone who has an allergy to that, so that's something that's important for you to know. Hello. You do need a prescription from a healthcare provider, but to get the pill, you are not required to go into a doctor's office. There are plenty of services online that you can access birth control just through an app on your phone. And for a lot of folks, they can be delivered straight to their door. And I'll share the name of one. And it is called Nuvaring. It is really easy to use. If you have questions about the birth control, they have folks there who will chat with you about it. And you also are not required to use insurance with this app. You can if you want to. Otherwise, they are able to get you your birth control for, I believe, as low as $15 a month. So if you're someone who's interested in the pill, that can be a great option for you if you don't want to go through insurance or if you don't have the ability to make it inside of a doctor's office. Some side effects some negative side effects that can accompany the pill are bleeding between periods, sore breasts, nausea, or change in sex drive. It's important to remember that most birth control most birth control options, period, do have the possibility to give you some sort of negative side effect. For most people, they are generally pretty mild and will lessen or disappear altogether within 2 to 3 months of taking the birth control. Sometimes they don't, so it's important for you to consider what side effects, if they're present for you, are worth the benefits of the birth control. But some benefits of the pill is that it's easy to use, as simple as swallowing a pill. So as long as you're able to do that, then you can take the birth control pill. It does allow you control over your period. So for most birth control packs, there will be 7 pills that don't have any hormones in them. That's typically when the user will get their period. And if you would rather skip your period for those 7 days, you would just move on to the next pack, and you can skip that period altogether, and that's perfectly safe and fine for you to do for as long as you'd like to. And it can also reduce cramps if you have bad cramps during your period, and it can help control acne. Some folks will just get on the birth control pill to control acne if they experience trouble with that. So that is an option as well. So the next one, birth control, is the patch. This is also something that's available through Nuvaring if you're interested in it. It contains the same hormones that we discussed in the pill, progestin and estrogen. It is exactly what it sounds like. So it is a small square patch that acts similarly to a Band-Aid. You just stick it right to your skin, and the adhesive is where the hormones are, and it'll just slowly dispense itself into your body over time. You would place the patch either on your shoulder blade, the top of your butt, or on your bikini line area. You only have to remember to change your patch once a week. So let's say I pick Tuesday as my patch day. Every Tuesday for 3 Tuesdays in a row, I would take off an old patch and put on a new one. For that fourth week, I would remove my old patch and not replace it. That would typically be the week that I would get a period, and then the following Tuesday, I would start that cycle all over again. You do need a prescription from a healthcare provider, but the patch is something else that Nurex can prescribe and send to your home without the use of insurance and without having to go into a doctor's office. So that is also an option. Some side effects can be skin irritation, bleeding in between periods, sore breasts, nausea, and change in sex drive. So that's so again, very similar to the pill, just because of the kinds of hormones that are involved. Skin irritation can be limited if each week you change the position of the patch. Sometimes your skin just needs a break from having the adhesive on it if you are experiencing irritation. Another kind of negative side effect is that it's difficult to hide if someone can, easily see your body. If that's something that you're interested in, maybe the patch isn't the best option. But some benefits are, again, similar to the pill. It's easy to use, as simple as putting on a sticker to your skin. It can give you shorter, lighter periods and reduce cramps and acne. All right, so the next one we're going to go over is the Nuvaring. So Nuvaring is a small silicone ring that the user will insert inside of their own body. It goes inside of the vagina. It is able to, you pinch it to put it in, and then it pops open right at the top of your vagina, at the base of your cervix, and that is where it will stay. It has the same 2 hormones that are in the pill and the patch, estrogen and progestin. It is placed, again, by the user inside of their own vagina and is left there for 3 weeks. And then for that 4th week, you would take out the ring, and that is when the user will typically get their period. You do need a prescription from a healthcare provider. I'm not currently aware of apps that are providing this virtually, but it's definitely something to look into. Some side effects can include bleeding between periods, sore breasts, nausea, change in sex drive, and increased vaginal discharge. Something that folks who use the ring do complain about is that it is possible for the ring to come out during sex. It is okay if that happens. If it does, you would just rinse it off and reinsert it. But for some folks, that is just a situation that they're not comfortable dealing with, and that's fine. But that just means that this birth control method just may not be for you. Some benefits is that if you are comfortable with your own body, then it is relatively easy to use, may give shorter, lighter periods, and reduce cramps and acne as well. So the next one we're going to talk about is the shot, Depo Provera or Depo. It contains just one of the hormones found in the previous few methods. It just contains progestin, so it's a great option for folks who are allergic to estrogen. It is really easy to use because you don't have to do anything yourself. As long as you can get yourself to the doctor once every 3 months to get the shot, then you are good to go. And you are covered for a full 3 months between shots. You just have to make sure that you are going back on time to receive your next shot. Most folks who experience an unplanned pregnancy while using Depo, it is because they were late receiving their next shot. Some side effects can include irregular bleeding. That is the biggest side effect for Depo that will make folks not use it because the bleeding can last for the first 6 to 12 months of using it. Doctors can help give you medication to kind of slow that bleeding so it's not lasting that long if you do experience that. But for some folks, that is just something they don't want to deal with, the 6 to 12 month period. So it's something to consider. Depo can also cause a change in appetite. So some birth control options can make you more hungry, which will result in weight gain if you're eating more and more. So most folks will advise you, just to, if you are experiencing the increased hunger, I know this is easier said than done, but to try and increase healthier food options as you're snacking, and try and kind of increase the amount that you're moving your body if weight gain is something that is worrisome for you. Some benefits is that it is easy to use. No one will know that you're using it because, again, it's just a shot, and there's nothing to remember every day. All right, so now we're going to move into the long-acting birth control options. These are the ones that are most effective because there's no way for you, the user, to mess it up in any way. You don't have to remember to go to the doctor, and you don't have to remember to take it. All you have to do is go to the doctor one time to get it inserted, and then you're good to go for as long as you have the birth control. So the first one is the Implant or Splenon. It contains just one hormone, progestin, and it is a small flexible rod that is inserted into right under the skin of your upper arm. It is about the size of a matchstick, if you can imagine that. It can be used for up to 4 years. So again, the only thing you have to do is go into the doctor's office, have it inserted, and then you are protected against pregnancy for 4 years, or until you decide to remove it if it's sometime before those 4 years are up. It does have to be inserted by a healthcare provider in a doctor's office, so you will have to be able to get yourself to a doctor's office. Some side effects can include irregular bleeding, again, especially for the first 6 to 12 months, but will typically go away after that time. And some benefits include fewer lighter periods, nothing to remember every day, and it may improve your PMS symptoms if you're someone who experiences that. And the last method is the IUD or Intrauterine Device. So there are two kinds of IUD. One contains hormones that lasts about 3 to 6 years, and one that just uses a body-safe copper to prevent pregnancy, and that can last for up to 12 years. It is inserted into the body, into your uterus by a doctor, so you will have to, again, get yourself to the doctor. It can be uncomfortable to insert. For most people, it is the equivalent of, bad period cramps. For some, it's a lot less. For some, it's a little more. But it's a very quick procedure. So even if you do experience pain or discomfort, it is really short-lived for a birth control method that can last you for years. Some side effects can include spotting between periods. This is especially true within the first few months, but it does not happen to everyone. And if you do spot, it's typically very light, nowhere near the amount of bleeding you would experience during a regular period. For folks who choose the copper IUD, you can have increased period flow, cramps, and backaches. So if you're someone that already experiences a really heavy period or really bad cramping during that time of the month, then the copper IUD may not be the best method for you because it can make those symptoms worse. But some benefits is that it's easy to use because you don't have to know how to use it. Your doctor puts it in and it works on its own. If you are someone who needs it to be hidden from the folks around you, no one will know that you use it, that you're using it. And for folks who use the hormonal IUD, they will experience less cramps and fewer lighter periods. And for a lot of folks, their periods will just stop altogether. All right, so I know that was a mouthful, but we did just really want to give you, the quick rundown of all their birth control options, especially if you are someone who is not interested or inconsistent in their condom use. It's important for you to know that these options are out there for you and that they are really accessible for most people. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're here to answer those questions for you. On our Instagram page, there is a saved story where you can click through and kind of read all of that information for each method in a really condensed format. And I will actually share, if you want to kind of do a deep dive into your different birth control methods and compare methods, I'm going to share a really handy website. And it is called Bedsider. Bedsider is a really easy to use website where you can get information on how to use it, cost, with and without insurance, side effects, and even testimonials from people who have used it, both good and bad. So you can kind of get both sides of the story. It's really, really helpful. But otherwise, that is all I have to share for today. Thank you for joining us if you did, and keep tuning in for the rest of the month to see what else we have to talk about. I just want to quickly share again for folks who are interested in free STI and HIV testing. It is by appointment only, but all you have to do is call us at 202-797-4439. We are always here to help you. You can additionally call that number if you just have questions about anything we talked about today, about testing, about Whitman-Walker in general. We are here to help. We are also providing, the COVID-19 vaccine if you need it. Anyone age 12 and up are eligible to receive it. All you have to do is give us a call. That COVID line is 202-207-2480. If you want to come in and make an appointment for that. If you're having trouble making an appointment with us, I know that can be really difficult as more and more people are getting the vaccine. If you're a DC resident, you can find information on COVID-19 vaccination sites at vaccinate.dc.gov or by calling 1-855-363-0333. It's really important to reach out to those or us if you are interested, to keep you and those around you as safe and healthy as possible. So again, remember to follow us. We have lives every week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So give us a follow. I hope everyone has a lovely Tuesday and a great rest of their week. Night, everyone.